Hello guys, how are you? This is this simple demo video of cloud config server. So in this video we're gonna see how we can configure or develop the config server application and how it is interact with the database and patch the data to patch the property value and give it to the multiple microservice. So before that we're gonna see a brief of this config server, for what purpose we need it. So if you see, it is just an approach for storing and serving distributed configuration across multiple application and environment. So to be clear this thing more, so we're gonna see the architecture of this config server. So this is the architecture. So this will be our config server, and there will be our multiple microservice or multiple application, and this will be our storage location. So in this tutorial we're gonna use Postgres database for as our storage or whatever as a source storage. So what happened, just imagine, suppose in this application we want to use an property value which is stored into the database, and that same property value we want to use in the application 2. So for that you have to set up the database and in application 1 and also as well in application 2. For that you need to create the API, then pass the value, then use. To about that things, with what we do, we just use the config server. We in order to centralize our all the application. So see, if you see the configuration, setup configuration, then this thing will be more clear. So let's go ahead and open our IntelliJ. So here I have generated an application in Spring Initializer Maven application with this following dependencies. So yeah, I have added actuator, then bootstrap, then JDBC, since we are using Postgres as our database, as our storage. Then config server, this is must needed. So and then Postgres dependency. Okay, let's go ahead. What to do next? Then open the source file and into the main, into the resource, open the application properties. Then what I did here, what I have done here. Okay, so I have changed the port number to 8090. Then high-carry connection fault, and then driver name, then Postgres Postgres URI, then username, password, SQL, and last but not the least, this one is management endpoint. It is what it will do. It will expose our microservice or our server application. After you done with this one, then open the bootstrap YML, which is in the resource directory. If it is not present, then you have to create manually, then add this following configuration. So I have defined this. My application name is composite server, then my profile active JDBC, since I'm using database, that's why I'm using JDBC. Then JDBC. So here I am defining a query which will take the property property key value level from the properties which is present inside our database. So on what condition? Application profile and level. This profile level will be our client or will be our client application. So this application name profile level, it will take this value from our client, then it will fetch the data from the database. That's it. Then open the main class and and use this annotation inside your main class at the class level. So that's it. This is all about config server. Now we're gonna look at client server, client application, how we can see and how it will pass the data from the database. That's it. Let's go ahead. So here I generated a config client uh, application from the Spring IO. Then what I have added, I have added in this all are these dependencies: web config, cloud config. In the config server, we have added config server. In this video, in this application, we have added config cloud config. Okay, so you have to aware of this, and then bootstrap, and then nothing. These three dependency we need in our client server at least. Then go to our main and resource directory. In application, I have changed the port only, nothing else to do here. Then as I said, we just need to define the server configuration. Here we don't need to do anything, we don't need to add any configuration about database. So and here I have defined URI, profile, label, name. These are the application property, my client server property. So when I make a request to use a property from the database, then it will verify this thing. Our server application will verify this thing, then our server go to the database and pass the data and return to the client. That's it. So this thing we just need to add in our config client. Then go to the controller class. I have created this controller here. So here I have used refresh scope. So suppose if I change a property value into the database, so we don't have to restart the client or restart the server. It will automatically refresh and take the new value or patch, whatever you can say, patch the new value. Okay. So here I have used annotations. Okay, a value annotation. This value actually, this is my property key. This property key will be actually stored into my database, and here I given a name. So name app, and then two property I have version and request. We will see in the database how we will gonna see we have added. Okay, so here is a simple API, get API I have used. So it will return the name and version, which is that value actually stored into the database. Okay, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that property value is coming or not. Okay. Now let's run both the application, server and client server application. Here you can see our one profile is active, JDBC. That's we have defined in the bootstrap file. Okay. Now it's running. Now it's running on the port of 8090 of my localhost. Okay. Let's go to the client server. Run this one too. Come on. So you can see this patching the data from this URI, which is our server URI. Okay. Now it's also run. Oops, we got an error. So it's saying could not resolve the placeholder because we did not add this thing into our database properties. So before that we need to add this value into the database. Okay, that's why it's saying it throwing error. Let's go into database and add the following detail. Okay, so here I have created a table. So here I have created a database, a table in a property table inside my database test database. Okay, so you can see that this is my property table with the following column name, but there is no data. That's why my client server was throwing errors that add data inside this one, inside a row, add row. So here you can see I just add a arrow row. So in that I given my client application name cloud config, profile name of my client application, which is test, and label also latest. Then this is my name that I have defined here in my client server application. If you see in my controller, I want to this controller. So I have given name app. So this in my property key it should be in my database. So in my property key I have also given name in .app. Then the value of this property key will be cloud, which you can say cloud config demo that I have given. You can given anything, okay, as your requirement. Then channel name, email, you can define anything here, any name. Now if I run, let's save it, this row. Now if I run the client server application again, is it throwing error or see? Let's see. Come on. Let's see, is throwing any error, any kind of error or not. This should be written my name, which is storing into the database. Again, it's throwing error. Why, man? Let's rerun my server application first. Okay, and rerun this one also, my client one application. Don't throw any error, man. Oh, I have one more value, which is version app, which I didn't have added in my database. Let's add this one too. Okay, one more one. Let's do application same cloud config, cloud config. Okay, in profile paste latest property key version. What is it? Version.f. Okay, version.f. Let's give a version to it, b.20 2.0. Just a random version. Give email Gmail. Let's say email, no problem. Okay, email. Add this one and save it. And rerun our client application again. Saying version app is in value app could not result. That's why I am saying no. Let's wait for till to be run. Now let's see, is it throwing any error? Now it has started. Okay, you can see it started. If when I hit the data, if I hit call this URI, call this API from my Chrome, localhost, your is localhost, then what was the port that I have given? Okay, application port is 8090. Okay, 8091, 8091, 8091, then test. Okay. Okay, now cloud config demo version 2. It's written with which is, you can see. Okay, if I have called this API and it return me what? Application name and version, which is stored into the database. But in this, and how it's returning, it actually given this information, this this property to the config server, and config server will take this value, verify this thing, and given the value to our client. So this is all about it. So I hope you guys have understood something. Yes, if you understand a little bit, then please subscribe my channel and like the video. Bye bye. So one more thing I need to say, guys, if you want this application source code, then you can download this two application from my GitHub. I'm giving the link in the description, so you can check out and download the application. Both the application is available here. Okay, bye bye.